Introducing Zach Davis and Josh Anderson with the SoundMoney Podcast.
Yeah, Josh already said it. I hate firing people. It is the hardest thing for me in the world to do. If I have to do it, I will do it. There's some people that can't do it. There's just some people that cannot do it, and they will defend their employees or their staff or whatever to the end of the moon. And when you look at the financials, there is no justification for what's going on, right? It's an interesting process.
It is, and at the end of the day, a business is a living, breathing organism. And this is going to sound heartless, but it's the best companies in the world, the most effective, most profitable, giant companies, treat it with no emotion. It sounds heartless, right? But they treat it with no emotion. When Elon Musk went into Twitter, there was no emotion when he cut 200% of the employment, right? When he had the first downturn at Tesla and he went in and got rid of 1,500 employees, there was no emotion, right? It's business. I'm sure we have a lot of small business owners listening, and small business owners generally have a lot of family, personal friends, neighbors who work with them. And when a downturn happens, the reason why most small businesses never make it to their 5th year and then have a real struggle making it to year 10 is because of that. Because when the down times come, and by the way, in a 10-year period, there will always be downturns.
It's a cycle.
Okay. They can't make the hard decisions fast enough because they involve people that they love. Zach, it's hard, right?
Well, you know what? So I'm gonna. This is something that I've always appreciated about my relationship with Josh. Is in our business, the reason why I think it works so good for us over the years is because we're different in several different ways. Like, you really shouldn't try to find a business partner that's just like you.
No,
because if you find a business partner that has different skill sets and personality things, it's like it can cause some conflicts.
They gotta work the same as you.
Yeah, they got to believe the same as you, but yeah. But years ago, I hope you don't hate me for telling this story, but years ago, Josh was the acting CEO of a company. I was doing all the marketing stuff, and we had to go to lunch, and Josh had to fire his own mom.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well, that's true.
I would have waited a lot longer. Right. But one of the things I appreciate Josh, he's like, well, we know we need to do it. Why not? Why wait? We need to just do it now. Right. And he went and did it. But that's a hard decision that you have to make as an entrepreneur and a business leader, whether you own your own business or you're sitting in the chair as a CEO or a COO, you dang well better have the tenacity to make those decisions, or you're not going to sit in your chair very long.
Now, she didn't forgive me all the way until she died, Zach. So that's probably a bad example, but it's true, right? Like in business, when lots of times in business, as a company grows, probably one of the hardest things is companies often outgrow their original management team. And many of our business failures have been in the past because we did not identify that early enough. And we felt like we couldn't hire above people because of loyalty, that they were there in the beginning, right? Thank goodness for those business losses, because over the years, they've made me a lot more callous to that. And I realized that when there's a problem and maybe you have somebody in the wrong seat on the bus, right? There's a book Daniel Pink wrote years ago called Good to Great. And in that book, he references that once you identify that someone is in the wrong seat on the bus, maybe they're driving the bus, but they are really bad at driving the bus over mountain passes. You got to get rid of them. Or you got somebody in the wrong seat of the bus where they were hired as a director of sales. And of course, people make assumptions that when the company grows, I might become the vice president of sales. But along the way, you identify and realize that this person can't maybe grow it beyond that. And that happens in business. When it happens, you have to be willing to hire above someone, even if that means that they leave. And that's a lesson If you're a young starting business and you're going through that today, and it's the time of year that you're going through it, because this is when it happens, you can't be afraid to make decisions that will grow the company or kill it. And if you, indecision is usually what kills a real company. That's what kills it.
Yeah. I mean, so two thoughts for our employed listeners. So those of you who are thinking about being an entrepreneur or starting your own business, or maybe you're not, you're just listening to this because you're like, I just want to hear what these morons are going to say next. But if you're an employee, don't put yourself in that position, right? I just talked to a young man the other day that said he's having a hard time at work. One of his coworkers saying, I don't get paid enough to do this or whatever. That is the fastest way to lose your job. Like, I understand that there's personality conflicts, and you might not feel like you're getting paid enough. And I'm telling you right now, your boss doesn't feel like you're doing enough work for the money you're getting paid. That is just the nature of the deal. Your boss is going to pay you just enough not to quit, and you're going to work just hard enough for him not to fire you.
But that's the equation.
But that is equation. That is a really bad equation. So if you're sitting in the driver's seat of a company, or if you're a rank and file employee and you're wanting to move up the ladder, do more than you're asked to do. Like, it will come back to you. Even if you feel like you're not getting paid enough to do that, don't put yourself in that position where whoever is over you has to look down the list at the end of the year and go, well, you know what? Underperformed, got to get rid of him, bad attitude, right? Like, just don't put yourself in that position. Go above and beyond. If you're Be the best one of those employees that you know how to be. Look for ways to lift and bless the company, move it forward, and you will be rewarded one day for that.
I just had this conversation with one of our employees about a month ago. I said, and this wonderful lady, right? She comes from a background where she's used to be very heavily involved with companies that worked out of Silicon Valley, held massive fundraisers for them. And the biggest companies like the Googles and the Apples of the world, came into their fundraiser events and their charities. And she'd been, overseeing one of our recreation properties for quite some time. And in this process of this conversation, I said to her, hey, I need so-and-so to take care of this task. The task was no good. Like, it's not a good task. It's not a fun task, but it absolutely had to be done. Right. And she said to me something. She said, well, that's not in their employment contract. And I just stopped her and I said, hey, we don't have roles in an employment contract around here. If there's a task that needs done, and if that individual doesn't go do it, they probably won't be with us in the future. Like, so to your point, if you want to increase your stock, you want to increase your ability to earn in a company, increase your value, and it won't immediately come back by payment. It may come back by not getting laid off in the next round of cuts in the world.
Yeah.
It may get paid off by not even in this business, but in the future business that person is involved in. They go, I really got to have that person back. They did anything and everything that was not asked of them. But when we pigeonhole ourselves, right? Like, and this happens, this is the pride cycle of all men and women in business. When we pigeonhole ourselves into, this is what I do. I'm an accountant. I take care of the incoming expenses of the company, invoices. Or I'm in shipping and I receive product. I don't ship it. Or if I'm in this case, I'm in maintenance. But I don't take care of horses. That's the fastest way to fail. If you want to add value in this world, you got to go, I'll do whatever. If you pigeonhole yourself, it's just a death spiral. You're no longer going to be with that entity, and you're not going to be happy, and they're not going to be happy. But if you find ways to add value, on the flip side, do we have people, Zach, that are unbelievable throughout all our vast companies? Do we have people that are unbelievable at adding value?
Yeah, 100%. And Josh, if in a growing environment, when you're growing and expanding, where do we look first to promote? Where do we look first?
Always within for us.
So, I mean, you just have to know, like, whoever your supervisors are, it might not be your direct supervisor, but somebody's watching you. And almost every company I know of promotes from within first. The easiest place to fill a space, if you're growing and expanding, the easiest place to find someone to promote is inside your own organization. You know what you have. You can backfill those other positions with people that you don't know and teach and train them. But you've already spent all this time teaching and training somebody in your company for your culture, your organization, your structure, systems, processes, all that. So make yourself marketable. Like, just give your boss a reason to want to promote you.